Okay, that's going. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna call the meeting of the Land Trust to order at 6:05 PM. And we begin by going around the table and taking attendance.
Justine Johnson,
Josh Chase.
Rory Carmody
Elsa Block.
and Lynn Carlson. And Josh, can you give our evacuation instructions?
Yes, out that door to my left and to the left and out the building.
Okay, we have to go on to item 3.1 to approve the minutes from March 16th of 2026.
I made some notes.
I have a few notes. I can go first. On 4.1. The treasurer's report, Ms. Carlson reported no change. It wasn't me, it was Justine. And at the top of page 2. Bullet point number 3 says Miss Carlson noted that Jenna Odell Chair plans to give a talk.
Yeah, that's, yep.
And on page 3.
There's probably that thing.
Yeah.
That there?
I thought it
Well,
was
the other
here.
door is open, so.
Yeah.
Did I go on again?
A bear.
Was we lucked out?
Who's on first? The other end? Hi, Joe. Hello. Hi.
Hey.
We just got started on reviewing our minutes. So let the record show that Joe Ocharo from the Sierra Club has just joined as a guest. So Josh, continuing on page 3, 4.5, right, the first sentence there, Ms. Carlson reported on a recent meeting with the representative. That was actually.
That was also me.
Yeah.
And I think it's Cummings, is his name spelled Coming.
Cummings.
I don't remember.
Page 3, the same thing. The second paragraph after the bullet points, it says members discussed the Grote property. That was the Grassett property that we discussed.
Yes, it is Comings.
Oh.
If we're talking about the same.
What's the spelling of the name?
Coming as in like the verb with an S at the end.
Oh, okay,
Comings.
Okay. So Scott Cummings from the Nature
Which one?
Conservancy.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get that changed, Josh?
Yep.
Okay. And then lastly for me, on page 4.9. It's right here. 4.9 item.
I see it.
Because,
there, actually.
Mr. Chase will send Josh a spreadsheet.
That's the one I just
Okay.
caught, yeah.
So
Um,
that's all I
Chase
have.
will send around a spreadsheet. Or did I send that just to you, Lynn, or did I send that to everybody?
What was it, a spreadsheet? of-
Yes,
Is it,
you just sent it to me.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's for the onboarding package,
Mhm.
where we have people's contact names, phone numbers, and emails.
and I still don't have your cell phone.
Do you want it right now?
Not
No.
on
Nope.
record.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You can write
Yeah.
him a note.
Yeah.
Get lots of calls.
Okay, I have on page 1, the last line, it says a member offered to forward the flyer. I believe that was Reed.
Here, wait, this is better than this.
And then, we did that already. 7.2. It says, so talking about Artie's land, it says possible donation of land. That is not what he's contemplating.
Development rights.
So it's possible sale of development rights,
That is
7.2.
7.2.
Good catch.
Yeah.
Hoping it was the.
Right.
I think that's all I have.
We'll set with the minutes then.
Yep.
Okay. So that closes out. Item 3.1 on our agenda. So we'll move on to item 4.1, the treasurer's report.
I did not do a new treasurer's report.
Did we approve them or did we just go over them?
Oh,
No, I motion to approve minutes with corrections.
Oh, I'm sorry.
oh, a second.
I knew there was something else I was supposed to do. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? The motion to accept the minutes passes.
I should have reached out to you to find out whether anything here affected our finances. Because otherwise it seems like nothing would have changed since.
Yeah, in terms of
$82 for the
printing.
binder. Yeah,
Mm,
and the
or
printing.
the ad.
Right,
The ad would have,
$86.
the printing was,
Done here.
yeah.
We have
So,
the
yeah.
ad and the reminder for Earth Day, which was $86.52.
Which I believe was approved last.
It was.
Yes, it
Yes,
was.
yeah.
We didn't have yeah, it's just there's not a new treasurer's report to reflect that.
And then we also have the attendance at the Conservation Summit, or
Oh,
Job
right.
paid for our registrations. So.
But that was paid before the February treasurer's report, but I could be wrong.
Because there was an early bird price, right?
Mm.
Yeah,
I don't think it was ever reflected.
No?
The
Okay.
actual cost was never reflected in it as a debit in the budget.
Okay, so for the next meeting, we'll get the numbers on that and the $86.
Yeah.
Anything else we spend in the meantime.
was, I think it was 85.61 with the
Discount?
no, with the
Early bird.
service charge.
Oh,
That's what I'm looking for.
For each person. or
Yes.
Total.
Yeah, so but there was only two because we are
We
a
got a free
member.
one.
We got a free one, yeah.
So sorry, it was 80
85.61.
times 2. Correct?
Times 2.
For each person,
Yes. Yeah.
with one,
Oh, there's 3 of us and one of them was free.
Yeah.
one free. Yep.
And then 86, 82 or 86 for the ad.
86.52 for the reminder ad.
Okay.
I'll porta potty in a second. Josh, can I make a request that we get some of those reimbursement forms that Terry Coleman said were available from
Sure.
the. So I don't know what kind of machinations we might have to go through with these, so, but if you do end up we can spend our own money. If we want to.
What would you be spending the money on?
Well, so like. Elsa asked if she could go to Staples and print those for us. We
Mhm.
didn't need her to, but
Yeah,
at some point it might be good for us to know that we can if we have a last minute thing that we need to
Okay,
print
yeah.
or spend money on.
okay,
And then like I might have had to take the brochures to get them stapled or something if
Yeah.
we hadn't found that other stapler.
yeah,
So it would just be good to know that we have the option if we
Okay.
need to at the last minute to be able to get reimbursed.
yeah,
And if we need that form, then that's the first step. So if we could just have, each of us have maybe one or two of those forms in
Mhm.
our hands, then once we have those, and I guess they have to be signed by you or Doug, and then we have to have the receipt.
Mhm.
And I don't know what else after that. but
Yeah.
It's a starting point anyway.
Sure.
Okay. So I think that does it for 4.1 treasure report. 4.2 outreach and volunteer efforts. So this is the big one. For Earth Day. We'll go through. Saturday, 8:30 AM is our setup time. I've come up with some initial assignments for people in case we have 25 or 30 people. We don't want to be all running around together. So Jenna has confirmed that she's going to be able to be there. So she'll do the invasive plants, the cutting. So if people get there and we need to separate them into group, we'll say, if you want to cut invasives, go with Jenna. If you want to hike the yellow trail, the yellow and the red trail with me and to pick up trash. Reed will do chainsaws, trail sign repair. Along the internal trails. A blue, purple, and green, with part of the yellow. Wherever he finds a tree. I haven't told him this yet, and you guys are hearing this for the first time, but he is gonna bring a chainsaw, so he'll be the person who will do that. And he's tall and can reach and climb on ladders to repair any of the trail signs. Remember to bring those. Elsa, I was hoping you would do the scavenger hunt with the kids.
Yeah, sure.
It's
Excellent.
your book
Good,
and.
Thank you. I've got stuff to show you.
Oh?
Yeah.
I don't entirely know what it'll
Well, you
entail.
don't have to invent it. I got a whole bunch of these.
Oh, that's cool. We have double. There's because in the booklet that I made,
Yeah. I
there's
didn't know you were doing that.
there's just this is not just for this weekend. This is like a kid's
That's great.
book that has a scavenger hunt
Yeah.
that applies to Whittle, but this is
I think that'll be good for little kids.
definitely I think
they'll get one of these cool pencils. It looks like-
oh cool. Oh yeah, this is good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love the Paul's booklet. Looks great.
This will be really nice.
We just need someone to dress up like in a duck costume.
Can you make one?
We'll try.
Why would
You think
we
we
have?
For Puddles,
Two-
Duckington.
okay,
just
yep,
fucking
I-
Earth
Are
Day.
you volunteering?
I would, but
Oh, busy that
I
day.
am. I
We
am.
don't have a duck costume. Don't look at me like that.
Well, that
Nope.
was a peacock.
Nope.
We had some puppets.
Nope.
What was the one they were using?
Maybe the peacock
Seattle.
identifies as the
No,
duck, though.
one
That
in-
could just be
What are they
the.
using in Nineveh? You have a chicken or something.
Oh, I think we do have a chicken puppet too. It might be gone.
Yeah.
It's fine. If it's not
I'm
a
not
duck, it
thinking
doesn't make
We
sense.
digress, sorry.
We did that.
Yeah.
I can do the scavenger hunt with kiddos, whatever that looks like. I doubt parents are gonna not also join,
Absolutely.
but
that's
yeah,
okay.
I can walk people around.
Well, the parents may want to be with their kid if they're little.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
yeah, so.
but I
But they
can
can pick
walk
up
people
trash
around.
while they're.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So I started off making a custom one of these and then I got too much and then my wife found this on
Yeah, this is,
on Amazon, like, oh.
this is
God.
way, yeah, that's a way
We
easier.
have all this stuff,
Why
Yeah.
reinvent?
Excellent.
yeah. So, we need to
Okay.
be able to find these, and then they're not gonna find everything, but that's fine.
Yeah, same with this. I think there's a few things on here that, like in our original list, there were some things that for all locations that I was like, I've never been able to see those things, or I've seen them one time and it was super exciting. So there's a few things on here that I think we're gonna be maybe a little hard pressed to see.
Yeah. Jenna
but-
actually had some changes that she suggested, but we didn't get them in time for you to make them. Like, for example, a moose is never gonna be seen.
Uh,
Oh, there's
A
a
moose,
moose on the
yeah.
scavenger hunt.
Okay, well, yeah, so but it's like, yeah, not on scavenger, sorry, but it's in the tracks and scat.
That's
Something to
true.
look forward to.
So is
Yeah.
porcupine
Yeah, it's very graphic. You got the
And-
ticks and the scat, this
Yeah.
gross the kids out.
and
Absolutely, I love
weasels,
that
etc.
stuff.
Like they're never they're never gonna see tracks from
Right.
fishers or
No,
weasels,
and I
anything
hope
like
they
that.
never
so-
see a skunk.
Now, as far as what happens after the scavenger hunt, we'll have to figure that out. I've kind of thought, let's see what happens, so I have prizes.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
But I mean, everybody's a winner, right? So,
Right.
because we have these nice, I didn't bring one to and you'll all get one, Sierra Club bags.
sweet.
Tote bags. And buttons we have.
Mm.
And should be wearing it, it's Earth Week. And then then I have 2 coloring books for the kids, because if they're hanging out for 2.5 hours, I don't know, maybe they'll be by the table, but there's one for little kids, which has stickers. And then there's one for like bigger kids, but not really big kids.
Awesome.
And they can, do all these fun things. And then stickers. Kids love stickers.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Love stickers.
All kinds of
Everyone
good
loves
stickers.
stickers.
Hopefully.
So we have a
this-
little
This
goodie
won't all
bag.
become trash in the woods.
Nah, it'll be part of my job. I can
They'll hold on to them
Look
for.
at little bags. they'll be
handle the
good.
kid
Right.
Kids
items.
to the end.
Mm.
But-
There you
Yeah, I
go.
think those can be like prides
After
for
the-
the scavenger hunt. Yeah.
Mm.
We just have, so that's it for the scavenger hunt.
Do you have somebody else who's gonna,
Kyle,
Kyle?
yeah, so Kyle's coming, he's our current chair
Okay.
of all 5 of us on the Sierra Club board. But he's gonna come and, do whatever needs to be done. I'll probably
Okay.
be at the table.
Okay.
With all this stuff, and I already got the juice and cups.
Nice.
The cups will be all over the else. And the only thing left on my list is to go to Dunkin' Donuts and get donuts. But.
Mhm. I
So
think that's it.
I'll probably stop by there beforehand, find out what that is. Porta potty is ordered, it's going to be dropped off on Friday. And they're picking it up on Monday. They'll be there all weekend, they don't
Okay.
work on weekends.
What happens if, I don't think it's supposed to rain, right?
I don't think it is, no. Last time. I
But
checked
will it
the
be
web-
locked when it's dropped off and they leave a key with someone so we can unlock it? Just to avoid people like in it. That's a little
Yeah, I'd
more,
hate to have people using it on Sunday after work.
yeah. It's a more public place than we had it at when we would get it up at like Sullivan or someplace, or,
Maybe.
That's, okay,
Maybe something to check with them on.
yeah.
Yeah,
Is
I'm
that-
not sure if they need me to come meet them on Friday or not. Anyway, I think I got a good deal, and they let me split the bill, cause I got a $200 grant from Sierra Club National.
Sweet.
And we're kicking at 65, so $265, that's what these things cost. The best price was $250. That's for 1 day, it's for the basic. And it comes with toilet paper and sanitizer. And the highest bid was 500.
Oh my God.
Wow,
That's the
What a
luxury
spread.
one.
yeah, really,
Double, like the lowest, so. All time bids,
That has a sink and everything.
So- No, no sink.
No sink.
Bidet,
It's
at
$500.
right.
Thank you, old porta potty. I love these. I don't know if we're gonna have Sierra Club trifolds. 5 volunteers figuring out how to do that. And
How many of those do we have? Because that's the map.
30.
Of the barrels?
We only made 30 of them.
those are very nice.
Thank you.
I feel like maybe,
We also do have the
Make more.
that case. That those can go in the.
Yes,
Oh, the,
box.
It's,
Oh, the box,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
the box, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is part of your plans. But
I
if it's-
think,
Bring it up.
yeah, soon after Earth Day is over, but I didn't plan it to put it up. We don't know where to put it up.
Yeah.
I think we should still work with
Think we
Scott
could
on a
do
place to
a
put it.
few more, just, I'm worried 30 if we're. Do you have any sense of how many people?
No sense.
No sense.
I'm scared, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Oh,
Scared about
Too many,
or
few.
too
too
few?
few.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
But
I wasn't worried until I found out the town is doing it. After all. I guess everybody knows that now.
Wait, what?
The town is also doing their traditional
Earth Day.
Yeah.
Earth Day thing, and they meet behind. Where am I? Oh,
Yep, City
behind
Hall,
the-
a town hall.
Public Works.
Yeah.
on the same day.
Mhm.
Oh, so now you're worried we won't have people.
Right,
Because there'll be some people who might have come to our event will probably say, oh, let's just go do the town one again. If they've done it before in the past. Yeah, it's really hard to know.
but we don't have a huge Sierra Club membership out this way, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, is to try to. Build
Track
it
people
up.
down here. Yeah.
And considering this is like where all the great hiking is, I think there'd be more, but. It's just been a tradition that most of Sierra Club activities have been lobbying the State House. And so a lot of people live in the city.
Mhm.
And there's a lot to lobby. I was there on Tuesday.
Mhm.
Wow. A lot going on. Some messy stuff. So.
Okay.
Oh, maybe
well,
you all, I think I told you, one of the big, in the email, one of the big. Topics was fire control.
mhm.
The DEM, somebody from their festival talked, said that only 1% of all of the land is actually managed. Like everything that the DEM has purvey over,
Mhm.
only 1% of it is managed for fire. And then the next night, we had a fire on, and it was right,
Yeah,
like,
that
right
house.
over there from my house. So I was terrified. It was 2 houses away. Thankfully, the wind wasn't blowing that bad, because it was a very bad fire. It's all pine trees and they're all going up. You know what they look like when they burn. It's just like
Yeah.
200 feet in the air, embers.
Mhm.
Oh. But
Well,
they put it out.
just so you know, history has it that we did try to get a burn management plan, a fire burn
Yep.
management plan.
Hmm.
And tried to work with the town and the fire chief and everything to get accomplished, and it just hit. Nobody's interested.
Wow.
Till it
So-
happens, yeah.
But a lot of people were from Exeter that are interested, because they apparently they had a big.
They did that, yeah, a couple years ago,
Yeah, they
yeah.
did.
Yeah, so they got people's attention.
Mhm.
That's what it takes.
Okay, well, it sounds like we're gonna have a great event.
Yeah, that's all I've got.
Yeah, the
I'll
tri-
just, yeah, I'll just post on the, I'll just like repost the flyer on the stories every day this week.
Okay,
And. Yeah, I mean, if people. If anyone has. Facebook friends, etc. in the
Yeah.
area, you can just send the Facebook post of it
Sure.
directly to them, so.
another thing that we're gonna have.
We are the,
oh, that's-
we are the, there is a Sierra Club Rhode Island Facebook page, and it is on there.
So, okay,
Jenna sent me a invasive species handout, so she'll be teaching from that. So I'm gonna get that printed up. It was posted in the reminder, the town Facebook page, the town events page, the Land Trust Facebook page, and Reed gave it to schools. so. This is the most advertising we
Yeah.
ever
Mhm.
had for an event, and it's
Yeah, but the schools are closed.
Whipple is close by, so. Yeah, he gave it to him a couple weeks ago, so
Oh, good.
They can
Yeah.
take it home with them.
they had time.
Oh.
Yeah,
And we did a whole thing with the schools to, a naming contest for Puddles, Duckington, so
Mm.
all of the elementary schools were involved in that, so
yeah,
maybe it'll be a reminder.
yeah. Josh, did we ever hear back from DPW about the trash pickup?
I did not hear back from them. I will ping them again.
Okay. Yeah, because otherwise we're just gonna probably leave it by the trash barrel that's there in hopes that it doesn't break apart and spread all over the place again. I don't know when they normally pick up the trash at that trash barrel.
Maybe all the
So,
food
got
kind
it.
of stuff, like juice cups that raccoons would like.
Hmm,
Maybe leave that over by the table and just take it. So that that's not laying around.
yeah. It'd probably be hard to keep people from putting. And to separate.
Right.
It'd be
Yeah.
hard to have people separate their trash. Cause I was thinking of bringing a recycle bin too, but. s- I don't know how much luck we'll have.
I don't know that we'll have too much, we're not gonna generate much trash, these paper cups.
Yeah.
That is.
Just in case we need it, Elsa, do you
Mhm.
have a Facebook post to say canceled, use the rain date? Or just to have it in the back of your mind that we. might
yeah,
need
I can
quick-
I can
quick,
make a quick thing.
Yeah. Cause I don't know how else we're gonna notify people that it's canceled if we need to.
Yeah, I usually just like post the flyer again with a big
Extra
cancel
cross it,
thing
yeah,
over it.
yeah.
So I'll just do that.
I mean, if it's
weather.
If it's raining hard, hopefully people will realize that it's not gonna happen.
Right.
And I may just go down there and stand around. Well, not stand, sit in my car and it's canceled.
Well, if it's
Come
a
on,
day
one
like
second.
today, I mean, it's like half and half.
Yeah, no,
Right.
we'll go if
So-
we'll go if it's half and half. Yeah.
Are we
Well,
bringing, are we gonna have the
porta potty, I
tent
have-
thing again?
I'll bring the tent,
We're gonna
yeah.
have that, okay, great, so we should
Yep.
put all of our materials under that to be safe.
Yep.
I'll have to,
Just
just
say-
tell them the porta potty. They will do it, but I think, like on Thursday.
It says rain for Saturday of 55%, so it's literally half and half, you know?
Yeah, it says
Yeah.
if you go into like the specific precipitation,
Mm-hmm,
it doesn't look like it's as of now, which is maybe meaningless. It says it's not gonna start till after 6 PM and be
Right.
light rain,
yep,
so do
Fingers
with that
crossed.
what you will.
Fingers crossed,
Yep.
guys. Coventry needs a break from the rain.
mm,
Alright, is there anything else that we need to talk about with regards to the Earth Day event? Everyone knows, again, set up 8:30. Oh, Rory.
Yes.
I need to have you tell me what you want your assignment to be. You're gonna help Jenna with invasives, do you wanna do trash?
yeah, hold trash,
Okay,
that's fine.
Justine, you're not gonna be there, right? Okay. That's what I thought I remembered, but
Do we have trash bags planned?
I will be bringing those.
Yeah.
I'll bringing trash bags,
I would suggest
gloves.
not super big ones because I don't think there's all that much.
yeah, there's not too much.
Yeah, and I would hate to have more trash be produced by the
Correct.
large trash bags
Yeah.
going by.
Yeah, the actual trash that
Yeah.
you collect.
I'm wondering if there's a way. Like I'm trying to think if there's a way that what we hand out to people can be things that are not like a one single use.
Like a Home Depot bucket or something. that they
Yeah,
bring
and
back
then
dump into.
and then we have one or two larger trash bags. Cause I imagine, especially if there's kids involved, I imagine like 3 pieces of trash and a giant
Bag,
trash bag, and that just like feels like a waste of a lot of things. So
I've got a couple of those 5-gallon buckets I could bring. Send them out with those to collect the trash.
we bring
Oh, like with white pails or
Mhm.
something? Yeah,
or like like 5-gallon buckets. Those, like, if,
Wonder if we have any of those.
I'm sure we have, I'm sure we have.
You were a sheet rocker in a past life.
I think I mean, we probably have a few, either some of those or other things that can be used for a similar purpose that we can bring.
And the other option is using like
Paper
paper
bags?
bags. I have
Which we do
like a
have.
bajillion of, many of them have the handles.
Yeah,
Right.
so let's see, let's try and bring buckets, because I think it would be nice to, like, I feel like that would maybe be easier.
And then they could be consolidated into one,
Mhm.
you
Trash
know, a
bag,
couple of big.
and then if
Yeah.
if we don't have
Okay.
enough of the buckets, then we can use
Bag.
we'll still bring the paper bags with handles.
Okay.
One
Yeah.
of the things the town says on their site is that they supply all the tools. But I'm sure they have the whole garage full of them.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, we'll all bring, I mean, we'll at least bring like the back of my, you're not coming, I keep saying that.
Well, you gotta have them to-
I'll get Vince to come. I will bring whatever things we have on the wall of the garage. Also the afternoon. I'll bring whatever things are relevant that we have, like the thing that we brought for the last event.
Okay.
Are there any specific
Dad did
tools?
bring a chainsaw and he could do stuff. What?
Is that useful? If we already have Reed?
Well, there are. I don't think we, I don't know that we need to. If we,
I had the
if we
first
were
day,
Bowden,
this
I'd
was-
say absolutely.
That's my concern.
I know.
But Whipple's, I mean, there are several trees down, like when we
Mm.
walked it, there were several trees down.
But he could help read if there's any big like tree
Yeah.
lifting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone
I'll
could
just-
probably be with Reed if he's got a chainsaw, just to make sure no one gets close to him when he's
Yeah,
doing the sawing. Yeah,
I don't know.
You say you
That'll
bring
be
a
good at
first
that.
aid kit.
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, we should definitely have that, but I'll bring those paper bags, whatever buckets or similar things I can find. The landscaping tools that I think will be useful. Is there anything else that I should plan to bring from our home?
Yes. I have on my list, trash bags, but I'll keep those to a minimum. Doggy poop bags. Our magnets, our big sign for the table. The replacement trail markers for the yellow trail. And the diamond things that we put up. Clippers, gloves, chainsaw, binoculars, but that's for me kind of personal.
Do we have a table? Do you want me to bring a table?
I was gonna bring a table.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a folding.
What about like, do you have any sort of, I mean, is anybody gonna stay out at the table throughout the event?
Joe will be there.
Oh, okay, you're gonna say,
I'll be out in the
Okay,
parking
great.
lot.
so do we have like a chair or two to be at the table? Do you have a chair you can bring?
I'll bring
Cool.
I've got
bring a
them,
couple of-
couple folding camp chairs.
camp chairs.
Do we want to supply any bug spray?
We have in the
It's gonna be-
past, as
gonna
bug and
be
tick spray.
Cool.
Yeah.
It is. I'm just paranoid now.
I know.
The ticks are out.
I mean, we put on
Yeah,
the
some of
flyer
you know how
that
to
for
Lone
people to
Star
bring
Text
stuff.
them, so
Yeah.
I'm at least scared. I was not that scared, and I kind of thought it was funny because I've never had meat before, and then I learned that it also makes you allergic to dairy,
Ooh.
and so that is terrifying. But yeah, I mean,
You're gonna need a bubble suit then.
I guess I'll just like a giant hamster ball.
That would be
maybe.
cool.
I'd be okay with that. But I guess we'll just hope that parents will bring.
Yeah,
Things for
it
their
was on,
children.
it was on the flyer.
Yeah,
To bring
sure.
bug spray, wear long pants, bring your clippers, bring gloves, so.
What are those ticks that are, is it Martha's Vineyard?
The Lone Star. That's what I was just talking about. The Lone Star ticks. Yeah.
It's like beef and.
dairy.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, but they're here now. It's not just Martha.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's why I'm
What,
scared.
where's here? Coventry here?
I don't know where Marina was.
She's usually in the big river management area, so.
Oh, man,
not
that's where I
far.
live.
Yeah, not
With the-
ideal.
With the white dots on the back.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody was actually posting something like that. It was on a Facebook page from
Yeah,
Coventry, so they'd seen those white
Yeah.
spotted ticks.
Like, did I put something in here that's like FYI?
No, let's not scare people from ever
Yeah.
going in the woods
We
ever
have
again.
posters that go
Yeah.
out on the table and stuff.
I already
right?
feel like it's
Yeah.
kind of tick centric.
Eccentric.
What? It's fine.
Okay.
I was told to put a tick safe thing in there,
Yeah,
and then I
that's
felt
good.
like it probably was a good idea for
Yeah.
parents to not
Yeah,
like leave the head of ticks embedded in their children.
it's good. It's all good. It's all.
This is the actual size, is it?
That's a dime
Oh, right,
Yeah.
it's a dime, oh,
for scale.
so they're not. Hanging deer ticks, the deer ticks are the scary ones, because you can't even see
See
them.
them.
Okay, guys,
All right,
back to,
Sorry.
back to the matter at hand. So. Earth Day, all set?
all set.
All set.
Okay.
Thank
thanks
you,
for
everybody.
coming,
See you
Joe.
Saturday.
Thank
Okay,
you.
see you Saturday. If they need to drop off a key or something, I can meet them there on Friday.
Friday?
Yeah,
That might be a lifesaver, because I have to have a procedure.
yeah, no, I'll make myself
Friday. I don't
available
know
on
if I'll be
Friday.
able to drive out.
I'll make myself available on Friday.
Okay,
If
great
We
to
can have a
know. Thank
key
you.
just because I don't like the idea of leaving it there on Sunday without being locked.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people who around that neighborhood who might get
Yeah.
get themselves into trouble.
well, I asked the guys, please come Saturday
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah,
So-
okay,
so
well,
that-
so we'll
These
figure
are
it
the
out.
options. All right, see y'all.
I'll
Thank-
Bye,
bring
thank
my own
you.
lock and key and lock it.
I mean, and we can also just like put a strap around it, like a kayak strap
Mm,
thing.
yeah, somebody really wants to.
It's also. if it
If
gets-
they need it that bad, man.
Yeah.
All right, that's,
Yeah.
that's
I think
fine.
some people would just go in there to cause, to vandalize it. And I don't want us to be on the hook for the cost of that, so. Okay, other outreach stuff. One thing that we brought up last time was the Coventry Summer Festival. Reed was gonna look into that. He's not here to report on it, so I did look up the dates, June 21st, Coventry High School, 4 to 9:30. I didn't really see anything about anything other than food trucks and kind of fireworks and stuff for the kids, so I don't know. I'll send an email to Scott asking if there's a place for the land trust to have a table or something.
I sent something to the high school to see if their envirothon was still a real thing. I just never heard back.
Okay,
Because I thought it'd be a good thing
Yeah.
for them to get involved with, so I'll try to follow up on that again.
okay.
Do we have something on here for research? We don't, right?
Well, I'll get to that in a second, but no, I took it off.
Okay, only thing I was
Yeah.
gonna say is, I asked the frog researcher from last year just to send an updated what she plans to do.
Okay,
But the team would like to use some, probably just Stella Hall again, so
okay.
just FYI.
Um. The Rhode Island Beekeepers meeting went really well. There were over 20 attendees and it was really good. I thought it was
It was really good. Yeah.
thing, a lot of questions afterwards. Then we also have the Fisher meeting. It's on the books with the library for June 4th, a presentation by Lakan Gano from DEM. And so we'll start getting the advertising and everything out for that probably in beginning of May.
Is that a me advertising?
That will be another case where Jessica probably makes up the flyer. And then it will just be a matter of us getting it on the Facebook page.
Cool.
Yeah. However, if you want to accept this mission, is to make a ranger patch. Because now that we have our adventure journal and there's a prize in there with a ranger patch, we're gonna have a ranger patch.
That is true.
So
Yeah, how
Is it just gonna be the duck?
like either it's just this, or in my mind I can do something that's like a little cornier, meant for younger kids. I don't know like what the age we're thinking for these patches is, because like I could do a little cartoon duck ranger, but
well, I like the card. I don't know if you can use it because I don't know if it's protected or not, but the duck that you have inside who says, hi.
This dude?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can, that's what I'm
You
thinking, like, I
use
can do
him,
something like
yeah,
that. and-
Make like a badge,
Yep.
more of a seal, like the police
Like
department.
a sheriff badge.
The
There you
sheriff badge, or
And it just says
Ranger.
ranger on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I can, yeah,
Puddles Duckington Ranger,
that's it.
something like
I think that's
that.
it. Yeah,
Okay. I don't think we're gonna have a lot of people who are gonna be earning those, so I don't think there's a
Yeah.
rush on it.
Yeah.
But something to play with in your spare time when you're looking for something to distract you. Okay. Okay, anything else under outreach and volunteer? Nope. Okay, moving on to 4.3 Coventry Land Trust website page. Updates, the biggest update is that it's up. So it is online and, now if you go to the Coventry town and you go to the plant, no, if you go to the land trust site from the town, it just directs you to the new one. Which isn't the way I really want it to be, but that's what Cody said. he
It
could do
looks
for
kind
now.
of temporary.
Yeah, it does. It is, and it is, because I have to figure out, for some reason, he said that he couldn't keep all of the things intact, such as the wildlife reports and the maps, without leaving the entire thing up. Which doesn't make sense to me, but we'll work it out. So each PDF should just be its own URL within the context of the server. So, but I'll, at some point I'll get together with him and we'll clear that up. But at least it's up now.
Yep.
So,
Looks good.
and I have my notes that we talked about last time for how to improve it going forward, so. Anything else about the website? Okay. Potential properties of interest, under this category, Justine, I just wanted to touch base and find out if you'd had any news from Scott Cummings from the TNC.
Mhm.
No. No, okay, I just don't want to lose sight of that.
Do you want me to bring up this Save the Bay thing now or under new business, since it's a potential property of interest?
Huh?
No, it would be new business, because I think this is mostly meant for like, specific properties, but yeah. Yeah, the TNC thing should probably get its own. Next agenda will move things
Yeah.
around a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
It should be more under like partnerships or something,
Okay, yeah,
right?
yeah.
We can certainly add something to the agenda.
Yeah.
Next month.
Yeah, that'd be great. Partnerships, and that would be TNC.
Save the Bay, maybe.
Save the Bay. And Save the Lakes,
Save the Lakes.
yeah. There's a Save the Lakes that I heard about at the Land Trust Center.
And we had talked about trying to have a liaison, like Conservation Commission liaison,
Right,
so maybe
right.
that should be under partnerships too.
So potential properties of interest, Josh, did you ever hear anything about that Cars Trail, Snapple Orchard?
I did not.
Nobody ever contacted you?
Nope.
Okay. So. Nothing there. Has anybody else seen any other potential properties of interest as you drive around town that have for sale signs on them?
Oh, it has to have a for sale sign?
Well, no, or if you'd seen something on Zillow or,
There was something on Matson Road, 461 Matson, and it's a little house on it, but I noticed that the house is like literally falling apart. There's a huge hole in the roof, so it looks like obviously no one's living there attending to the property, but it abuts a little pond. I wasn't sure what the mileage, the square footage was on it or the acreage. And I know there's a house on it, but it looked decrepit enough that it'd be not easy to get rid of, but
461 what?
Matson, Matteson.
Um, Three, almost 4 acres.
Oh, all right, maybe it's not really big enough. I thought it was bigger. But you see the house there, it's,
It's off the market.
oh, okay. I was
Mm.
just wondering, well, then it raised the question,
Mm.
so if property is run down like that, does the town ever intercede and take the property? Like I know that building they took on Main Street there that they, tore down, because it was lack of, ownership, they weren't paying for the taxes and everything, so at what point would the town get in and take a property like that?
I am not sure.
It's only 3 acres?
Yeah.
Looks like it has more.
What was the address you said?
461 Matson, Matteson.
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, it is very small, but there's a little pod there, so it probably wouldn't be worth but I just wondered just because how the house looks now, like literally you see the gaping hole in the roof, no one's sitting there, I mean, living there. What would the town ever step in?
Is the one parcel to the north owned by the same group?
Yep,
Yeah,
So, and that's how many
all three,
acres?
actually.
What
Three.
about the one to the left?
So we could go
so that's a lot of acres now, right?
11 acres.
You were talking
This is like 4,
about, yeah.
that says 4 there, so that another one's 3.
Four, three, four.
Yeah.
Who owns it?
Swamp Meadow LLC.
What is that? I've never heard of it before.
Could be a developer.
Well,
A real
Swamp Meadow
estate company.
LLC is, they have an address in Hope.
up Carpenter Road's right around the corner. When Matson breaks off to go right, Carpenter goes left, and it's right at that intersection. Right, go up
Right
a little
here?
bit, yep. That's where Carpenter goes off. Yep.
Huh?
Don't think it's a community theater.
No,
be.
Swamp Meadow is a community theater in Foster, I think.
Yeah.
Or Swamp Meadow Bridge or something like that. But it struck me because I go by the house and I never see anyone there. And then recently I've gone by, I think after the blizzard, that the roof is caved in.
It's definitely worth something to keep an eye on because we get all 3 of those parcels.
Yeah.
And
Well, the water, I mean,
it may be that they can't develop it because of the wetlands, so they.
That's what I'm wondering, because
they don't
it's
have-
all, that's the area that Matson, when you go, that always floods when there's
Mm,
rain, snow, different things
Mhm.
like that. It's usually where I cross the turtles and go back and forth. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
yeah, it's a lot of wetland on there.
Yeah.
Wonder what that dark splotch is in the middle. If it's just a cleared area. Yeah.
Yes, oh, that's.
The old
That is the
building,
trailer.
Yeah.
trailer.
The trail is there. You can see the trailer there because, and I don't know if you can pull up the house. It's not that big of,
No photo.
no photo, interesting.
Can you see the rooftop on the other parcel?
This just looks,
Yeah.
Wooded.
If you go down on, yeah, again, it's not doesn't look like a big house at all.
Mhm.
something there.
I think that's kind of it, but now, like I said, there's a gaping hole in the roof there. I drive by it every day, so if a for sale sign comes up or whatever looks like action there, I'll know.
Yeah, keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Cause again, if it's too wet for them to develop it, they may wanna pawn it off on somebody.
Yep,
But we would love to have it for the wetlands.
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else under potential properties? Okay. Moving on then to 4 or 5 important calendar dates. I mentioned the June 4th Fisher presentation at the library. So also keep an eye out for something. I'll send you the flyer to go onto
Yeah.
our Facebook page. And then there's also going to be, if anybody's interested, on Tuesday, May 5th, from 6 to 7 p.m. Plants, trees, and shrubs and ID walk at the Cumberland Monastery in Cumberland. If anybody's interested in that, let me know and I can send you the website page. Tuesday evening's tough. And then Tuesday, April 28th, Justine and I are going to Zoom with Kate Sales on the land acquisition workflows. Yeah. That's important calendar date for us. Anything else that anybody's heard about? Okay. Grant opportunities. Main thing we have on this is just to keep an eye on that grant watch program. Again, Reed was gonna be the guy in charge of that, so he's probably keeping an eye on it and hasn't come up with anything. Anything else under grant opportunities?
No.
Moving on to 4.7 onboarding materials. Gotten a lot of the stuff together. Josh gave me your contact information. Gave me the slideshow for the ethics stuff
Mhm.
and several other items I've gotten. So we're working on that collectively. If you had a thing that you were supposed to give me.
My portion, I'm waiting to.
Talk
Kate
this to
says,
Kate.
yeah.
Okay.
I'll send you the list of stuff I didn't step home for us to get it.
So we're getting there.
Yep.
Anything else on 4.7? Anybody have any questions about the onboarding materials? Thought of something that we should add? No. 4.8 budget stuff. First off, Josh, did we make any headway on finding the names of foresters who we could get bids on for the forest management plan for Bowden? I know Mark Tremblay was.
I have not.
To be not on the
Yeah.
list of foresters. So if we could find what him and 2 other people that we could contact to get bids from. And then how would we proceed with getting bids? So once we find those people, do we have to advertise it, or can it just go to those 3 people?
If they're on the MPA,
Yeah.
we can just hire them.
Okay,
Without 3?
As far as I know,
Okay.
if they already are on the MPA, like
Yeah.
if there's only one person on the
Oh, you can go right with them, yeah.
MPA. But I would write up an email explaining what we want. I would send that out to Mr. Tremblay and whoever else is on the MPA or whoever else we want to send it out to. And we'll see what happens.
okay. Okay. So yeah, if we can find out who our potentials are on the MPA. I don't even know where to look. I don't, master purchasing agreement,
Mhm.
MPA, but. Okay. Cause we wanna at least have our ducks in a row to get that forest management plan underway. With regard to the real estate conveyance tax monies, Josh, did you hear back from anybody?
Yes.
Town hall?
Yep.
Okay.
So I talked to the finance director actually today. And he says that he didn't have any concern with what the land trust has in mind for spending money on maintenance of properties.
Okay.
He did point me to something in the call it the enabling ordinance that, we do have to go before the town council. So I think what we may want to do is kind of think of the land trust as a town department. We have to go before the town council. Here's all the things we want to do this year. And present that to the town council.
Okay. So we already gave the budget to Doug.
Yeah.
For what we want to do this year.
Right,
Is it
so.
just reiterating to the town council what those things are? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, because there is the operating budget, which is $7,000, I think.
Six and change.
I think we got 7, actually.
Really? Okay.
So that's for things like ads and
Right.
everything's like that. Because we have to put an ad out and have an actual public hearing to internally approve the budget we want to spend from the real estate conveyance tax. It makes more sense to do it if we can once per year. And say, here is what we're doing this
Okay.
year.
So instead of
Here's what we
submitting
have
it like we did this year as a separate thing, we would get it on the agenda for the, because that's kind of what the bylaws say here.
Yeah,
Okay.
This section about all funds released for any of the purposes listed in 16.1, which includes managing
Yeah.
property.
Mhm.
We have to go. There has to be a public hearing requiring 2 weeks of advertising approved by a majority of the trustees and approval by majority of vote of the town council.
Yep.
So do we want to get on the
Yeah.
agenda?
So since we submitted the budget as. I guess my question is, we're not too late for this year then, right? Because we did submit one.
so we are in the timing, we're completely independent.
Yeah.
Of
Okay.
of any schedule.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, the only schedule requirement is that there be 2 weeks of public notice so that
Yep.
people want to show up and.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so, can you get us on the town council agenda? Or me, I guess, I don't know, hopefully somebody else will.
I'll go with you.
Hold my
Yeah.
hand.
Um,
To present them with our proposed expenses of the real estate conveyance tax. And if I need to make a motion, I will.
yeah, I think we need to have a public hearing first. Well, the land trust would have to have a public hearing. And then, while that's happening, obviously, we would know it'll be approved. And we can get on the town council agenda once that happens.
I
Oh,
don't understand.
God, what a pain in the ass.
Yes,
So, so what it says,
Yeah, I
all funds that are
really
released for
understand.
land acquisition, including the cost of appraisals or other purposes referred to in 16.1, can only be released after a public hearing requiring 2 weeks of advertising.
Yep.
And then approval by the majority of the trustees and approval by the majority of the vote of the town council. So if you have a public hearing, does that happen like at the same night as a town council meeting?
it would not. It would be
Just prior
because,
to it.
yeah, it would,
Anytime prior to the meeting.
yeah, it could be as quick as we have the hearing on a Monday and it's before the town council on a Tuesday. Because I do not believe that this says that it has to be advertised for 2 weeks. before the council
Mhm.
acts on it,
Mhm.
just before the
The
land
public
trust.
hearing.
acts.
So we
So-
advertise for 2 weeks, chances are nobody will show up.
Correct.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. okay.
And then on a Monday, we vote. And on the next town council agenda,
Okay.
we're on it.
So
Can the
we-
public hearing not, this is maybe a stupid question, but I'm assuming the public hearing has to be separate from one of our meetings? Like,
Nope.
could we-
No, can be
No?
the same
So
meeting.
we
Yep.
could just
We can open it to
decide
the
that our
public,
next
yep.
meeting is also the public hearing.
But we
for-
have to, we have to advertise 2 weeks prior to that meeting.
But do we have
Yep.
to have the public hearing at the town council
No.
chambers?
No.
We could have it here?
We can have it here.
Well, there you go.
Not a stupid question.
So can we make sure that
Yeah,
the
okay.
advertisements go out 2 weeks prior
Yeah.
to our?
Next meeting.
So
Yes.
April, the
So that would be
May meeting.
May 18th. if
We just have
my
to conclude
calendar
a
is
little
correct.
agenda. But the purpose of the public is the agenda is to review of the land trust proposed budget for fiscal year, whatever we're doing it in.
Yeah, I suppose we would call it fiscal year, because that would be, that's June 1st, right?
Right.
Yeah,
No, July 1st,
July
July
1.
1st.
July 1.
That's what we planned for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when we submitted it. Yeah.
And so if we
July-
ended up wanting to purchase development rights or purchase property, we would do another public hearing?
Yes,
Okay.
For that specific one.
Right.
yep.
But the agenda can just talk about what the function of the land trust is and the proposal of how we do our budgeting and acquisitions, things like that.
So all this is going in your SOP,
Mhm.
Mhm.
because I can't keep track of it.
Yeah,
So,
And nobody ever comes, just.
yeah, that's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
so it's just a thing, okay, so. Do I need to make a motion, or does somebody need to make a motion to have a public hearing
Yep,
as part of our agenda?
I
Okay,
would so move to have a public hearing to alert the public of the land trust's operations, budgets.
of the
yeah,
real estate conveyance tax.
Yep. Cause I bet a lot of people don't know that it doesn't come out of their pocket, you know, that this is not a town cost.
Hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
always helpful to know too.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion as. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passes.
Huzzah.
This is,
Okay. I realize that I'm doing this backwards after reading Robert's Rules of Order, try and do better.
We won't talk.
I would have if you had forgotten to call the meeting to order officially when we were out on Artie's property, but you didn't.
I
Good
remember,
thing.
right?
Good
Yep.
thing.
yep, see,
How many people showed up for that?
27.
We had a we had a quorum.
We had a
Okay.
quorum.
Think you're
Yeah.
looking at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of us plus Artie.
Party, yep,
And Jenna
And,
came as
yep.
to just be there to look at she's gonna write us a wildlife report. to
Yeah.
Help us
Okay.
as our resident biologist.
That's all sound better. Most importantly.
That will probably make her report.
Okay,
I don't know, wasn't it?
so is there any feeling that we, as the land trust, need to have what Mr. Savetti said in writing? Or do we feel as though we're,
What did he
We're
say
good to go.
exactly?
He said that he didn't have any concerns
With,
with
Uh,
I forget his exact words, but it was that he didn't have any concerns with the interpretation that you guys had, that you would be allowed to spend the conveyance tax money on things like managing the properties.
what about the
Yeah.
portion of Lynn's letter
Yeah.
that was about having our own account
yep, and the interest?
and the interest going into that account?
Did he mention either of those two things?
He did mention the interest. And he did, um. Say that as of right now, it is being put into the, general, fund, as you know.
Mhm.
And that he would look into exactly what the, next steps are in regards to that.
So is the land trust money in a separate account?
I,
I do not
Not
believe
now.
it is,
yeah,
So the
I,
land trust money and the interest is in the general funds.
with the separate accounting, but not in a
Right.
separate account.
But is the interest separate from the land trust? Or is it all in the one land trust account?
The interest is going into the
Right,
general fund and
so we
not
need to
even
see that.
going into our accounting,
Right.
so it's
It's not
not
even-
adding to
Right,
the land trust.
It's not tagged.
right,
or
and that's the
listed
money
as
we need for
restricted or
when we
anything.
do propose that our budget
Mhm.
for what we need to do in additional.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're basically
No.
got answer to one question,
Well,
but not
no,
the other.
because the first answer, the one he did give, which was that we can use so the money that is currently in the accounting
For what we
column
need it
for
for,
us.
yep,
Which is
For
tagged as
all these
restricted.
things, so
Right.
it doesn't have the restrictions that we thought it did. But the question is whether it should be a separate bank account, which
right.
I believe it is supposed to be, that's
Mhm.
Kate Sales things too,
Mhm.
we can bring to
Right.
that.
Do you have a list of things that you're gonna ask?
We
her
will
about?
make a list,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's all these things that.
Yeah,
you're bringing
Yeah,
up
yeah,
when
yeah.
you-
I just feel like
Um,
I feel like over the last many meetings, so many things have come up.
I know, and then the interest, because the document, one of you found.
Yep.
Suggests that, yeah,
Right, it has
that
to
the
be
interest
separate.
should be going
Yep.
into the.
Yep.
Account that is separate.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
What was this document?
It was just, I did a legal search of land trust and separation of funds from that are not generated for and by a town or a city, like collected by
Right.
taxes and things. That you have to put in a general fund. The
Right.
conveyance tax is separate and apart from that, because it's from a statewide thing. The
Or
state,
this was a state of Rhode Island
Yep.
document? Oh,
the
nice.
cities and towns can determine a percentage of the interest that can go to, of the conveyance tax
Yes.
rather, that can go to the land trust. So if they decide that they want to give us more or less, they can do that, but the interest on what we're accruing on over $3 million is probably in excess of 100,000 a year or more. Yeah, so you want to weigh that out. But there should be a direct line, meaning it should, in our accounting, we should have land trust, we should have land trust interest, and then there should be accounting that the state has, the town has taken X amount of percentage of
Yeah,
that money into
okay.
general funds. It just, there needs to be a clearer breakdown of that.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was a Rhode Island specific legal
Yeah,
document
no,
that like
that's the whole.
put that out, because that
Yeah,
would be,
it's not
that's
not a
what
law.
we have been needing,
Right,
just
it's
to
not,
be like,
it's
hey,
not general laws or anything that specific, but it's best practices and what other land trusts do.
yeah,
You
which
know,
is
to
what, yeah, we
maintain the
needed
clarity
something
of
in
how money is
writing.
being utilized. The whole point of the real estate conveyance tax is that money is for things
Yeah.
like the land trust,
It's
not
open
for,
space.
yeah, it's not
It's really
for,
specific to open
new
space.
lighting in the schools or
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah,
else
it's
like
very
that. And so you have
specific
to
to open space.
demonstrate how that money's being spent.
And it states in the town charter that the amount is 50% that we get from that real estate
Right.
conveyance tax, it's 50%.
Right.
So what we continue to need clarity on from Mr. Savetti is that we want the interest to go into to be restricted for us as well.
So did your letter go anywhere?
Yes,
Okay, to whom?
went to Doug, Doug passed it on, I don't think we ever spoke about who exactly it went to, but I do know he did, pass that, letter on.
Was that the one that I wrote
Yes.
on April 13th?
Mhm.
Okay.
It seems like you submitted these things in writing.
Mhm.
And so it feels like there should be a response in writing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
And that there should be some timeline for getting the answers to the questions about the separate bank account and the interest and all of that.
Yeah.
And I think, we can talk to Kate about this a little bit, because I don't know municipal versus private land trust, what if rules are different, but hopefully she can advise us a little bit on what other towns have come up against when this conversation has happened.
So do I need to write another letter asking for this to happen in writing? What do you think, Josh? I mean, Doug, I don't think,
I don't think
it
so.
doesn't seem as though,
An
it
email
doesn't
will
seem as
suffice. I
though
mean,
the
if you-
other,
Yeah, I
the other
think-
side of the street is taking this seriously to me, quite honestly. Like
I'm,
the town manager and the town solicitor, he didn't want to rule on it, and now Mr. Savetti's just saying it's okay, but he's not answering all of our questions.
I think I'm a little more hopeful than you are in this,
Okay. Not unusual,
regard.
I'm very cynical.
Rightfully so, I'd say.
But, I would say not yet.
Okay,
Is it worth?
Can we just get an email sent that
Yeah.
even if it's just from you, Josh, that's being like,
Confirms that.
hey, we just want to, can you just, the things that you already told me, could you just put them in writing? Or could we write something up, in case the issue is that they don't want to do the work? Could we just like put
But he
what they
hasn't
told us in
answered
writing
to
and be
have
like,
them sign
hey,
it.
like, can you confirm? Exactly, like,
Is
you
it-
don't have to write it up, but if we write it up, can you just confirm that this is the case?
Is it worth emailing Maria? She seemed to be fairly eager to.
Well, and some of this
Support
came
it.
from her.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying
She's
is.
the one who wrote that original
Yes,
research document.
That's why I'm wondering if, since she's on the inside over there, if maybe it's worth getting her take on the conversations that they're having about this.
So Josh, we won't do anything yet. But you can relay to the higher ups through the chain of command that we're gonna press this.
Mhm.
We want the interest.
Yep.
We want the account separate. And we want it in writing that we have those things.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Not gonna go. And if they
How-
decide that later on they're going to amend the charter to give us less than 50%, then we'll say, okay, but you've been using our interest for the past however many years
Well, they've been getting 50%
fif-
and the interest.
and the
Yeah.
interest
Yeah.
for so many years. We would like some relief on that.
Well, there would be a public hearing on that presumably, if there's gonna be a change to the charter.
Yeah, there would have to be a vote by the
If
people.
there's a change to a charter, it has to go to.
Has to go to the
town
whole
meeting, right?
town.
Yeah,
And then they would have to
Town
explain
has to
why.
vote.
And it's unlikely that they said because we've been taking the interest all along and we still want to do it because that's kind of would draw the attention of some probably regulatory people.
And if the town believes in open space the way they say they do,
Mhm.
I mean, the town, citizens of the town do.
Mhm.
Hopefully get some pushback.
I mean, we don't want to be jerks about this, but
Yeah.
it's our money
Yeah,
and we need it.
yes.
We're not gonna,
I don't think
Spent
it's
on-
making us jerks to be asking for what we
We're
are
not
both
gonna-
owed and what we have kindly been
So
requesting
that we
for quite a
can
while.
achieve the purpose for which we were formed.
anything else? Sorry to make you the bad guy, Josh.
The The
I
messenger.
mean, we're not making you the bad
You're
guy,
not
we're making
making
you
me
the
the bad guy.
messenger, we're making you the messenger, but
Yes.
I hope you're not getting a lot of. Can't you just tell them to be quiet?
I haven't heard that yet.
Okay,
Emphasis on the yet.
Yeah, there's still time.
all right,
That's how we know we're really getting close.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so bringing the budget discussion then to a close. Moving on to 4.9 SOP for acquiring land, I know. We haven't gotten anywhere because we're waiting for the meeting with Kate Sales, but I wanted to leave it on the agenda so that we didn't forget about it. Sure. Okay. Anything else under SOP?
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry, but if we bounce back to onboarding materials, I should
Mhm.
have looked at the list before I opened my mouth, so let me just do that.
It's on there.
Yeah, I feel like we should have a included on the onboarding materials, a list of the properties that are sort of in the in process. And
Okay.
like any materials like scoring sheets, whether
Mhm.
they've been voted on,
Mhm.
where we are in the process, what's been done, what needs to still be done. Because I know when we joined, it took me a long time to understand
Yeah.
like what all of these different properties, because we were talking
Okay.
about multiple properties that you guys had already decided on, but
Mhm.
it was unclear if they were going anywhere,
Right.
So that would be helpful.
Okay.
I'm still
As we
not
think about
entirely
these,
clear.
because we don't usually have any properties in the
Mm.
pipeline.
It seems like don't we have like 3 at the
Yeah,
moment?
we do.
Yeah.
Yes. And I hope they don't come to a screeching halt.
Mm.
Okay, so noted. Okay, going back then to old business. Pettigrew.
On the Pettigrew properties, I emailed the gentleman who is supposed to do the appraisal again. I still have not heard back. I will probably call him this week. But also the director of the DPW, the town engineer, and the director of the planning department, Doug, has a plan to go out to figure out how much it would cost to improve the roadway from to get to the Pettigrew property. So we can figure out how much that costs and then subtract that from the amount that is appraised. Because to develop anything out there, you would have to improve that roadway.
A town road?
It is not a town road, it's a
Okay.
private road.
Okay.
I'm still confused about this.
Mm.
So the appraiser goes out and does this before and after appraisal.
Mhm.
So he's getting an amount of dollars that the land would be worth if it was used as house lots.
Yep.
So he'll determine the number of lots and that sort of thing.
Yep. And then how
After,
much would those be worth? Yeah.
okay, and then the after one is, okay, so we have the before amount, and then the after amount is without any houses on it.
After is just it is just the value of the land without the development rights.
Okay. So as it is now, no development rights.
Yes.
Okay. So where does the roadway come in?
So to develop those house lots, somebody would have to improve the roadway to get there.
Yep,
And that has to be included in the potential development cost.
So it's an
So is that-
expense that gets, so you can say that if somebody were to have house lots,
okay,
that it would be worth $10 million.
yep,
But in order to get it to the point where they could sell it to a developer, somebody
Yeah.
could develop it, they'd
They
have to spend
spend,
$500,000 to get there. So suddenly the value of that is
so
9.5.
that increases the value of the before.
Right. Now they're building houses for 2 million instead of 1,500,000. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how it. a
No, but
road-
if the value developed is $10 million.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what they're gonna be able to sell it for, or whatever.
Yeah.
Their cost going into creating that value has to include the cost of improving this road.
Right.
So they're still selling it for $10 million, but it cost them $500,000 to put the road in order to be able to do that. So actually, they're selling it for 9.5 because.
But the
it-
developers get the money back when they sell the houses because they just increase the cost. of
Right,
the-
they
I
increase
just
the
don't
cost of the
understand
house
how
to
that has
recover the
anything
cost
to
of
do
it.
with getting the property. Do you know what I mean?
Because
It's apples and
that-
oranges.
That would reduce what the property's worth. So
Not really.
I mean, if you
instead
consider
of the
frontage,
property
yeah, 'cause they can
being
only-
10, the property would be worth 9.5. Because the developer would have to incur the cost of improving that roadway.
Unless,
Even though he
so they
recovers
appraise
it
it
after
based
he
But
on,
builds
doesn't that lower the
houses.
tax rate too for the developer? Instead now he's being taxed on 9.5 million instead of 10 million?
but do they appraise the property based on the like amount of homes per se that could be put on that land if there was access, or do they do it based on, I don't know what the Rhode Island specific frontage laws are, but I know that in order to develop, like in order to put a house somewhere, there has to be a certain amount of road frontage for that.
Yep.
So would they be appraising this property as it is, given the amount of road frontage that's available and therefore the amount of houses that could be put there based on the amount of road frontage? Or are they appraising it based on however many houses could theoretically be put there if the road was expanded to allow it?
Number 2.
Okay, okay. Okay,
So if
I still don't understand, so wait, why does this affect us though, still?
That's what I don't
Yeah, that's
understand. It
what-
has
yeah.
nothing to do with
only
us.
affects
It helps us.
what we would pay for the development rights.
Yep.
So it will actually drop, so if the cost of improving that roadway is 200 grand.
Yep.
Then the property's worth for the development rights then drops by 200 grand, because to develop those properties, you would have to spend 200 grand to improve the roadway to get to those properties.
Right,
And
but we're not gonna
you are correct
yeah.
that if we were actually looking at how it would play out.
Yeah.
You are likely correct in that the developers would just increase
The cost
how
of
much
the
they
house.
would
Right.
They're
like
gonna
charge for
recover
the
the cost
houses.
either
But I
way.
think that I don't think that they are,
That's how
I
much.
think in the sake of
it-
for the sake of the appraisal itself, I don't think that the people that are doing the appraisal are going to then be like, okay, yeah, well, then they would possibly increase the price of the houses.
Right,
They'll be
because the
doing what the
appraisers are
land
gonna
and house would
do,
be-
yeah, they're gonna do like a market assessment of what each of these houses are gonna be worth. So let's say, for instance,
Mhm.
they only put 2 houses on there, and each one, they'd say, okay, you could put a $500,000 house on each of these properties, right? So they're saying this developer can sell these for $500,000, that's market rate.
Yep.
Now, we know that in today's market, the developer can probably sell it for 600,000 and recoup the cost of the $200,000 roadway that he
Yep.
put in. But that the appraiser is going to be going based on market value, not based or appraised value, not based on what the market will actually pay. So it's like we all know that like our house is appraised at a certain amount, I
Yeah.
could probably sell it for more.
Yeah.
But the appraisal is going to come in here,
Right.
right? And so the developer can't say, well, I'll just tack on that, and now this, it's actually worth $600,000, the appraiser's gonna say, no, the house is gonna be worth $500,000, and to earn that, you're gonna have to put in this roadway. So it just reduces the profitability, which means that the actual value to the developer is lower, and therefore its development, the profit's lower, therefore it's worth less, which is good for us.
And even though it's a private road,
Yeah.
But you couldn't, like, you have to have the infrastructure in
Yeah.
order to put the houses in, presumably. Did they say the road is unsafe or something, I
The
assume?
road is not improved to the state that the DPW and fire would be happy with.
Yeah.
It's fine for the one house that it has,
Mhm.
but if you're going to build 4 more houses up there, the roadway has to be
Mhm.
improved.
Because you have to have
Yeah.
trash pickup and snow plow.
The
and-
fire trucks have to
Fire
be able to get
trucks.
in there and.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand it now. It's just, okay. So they're gonna go out soon.
Yep.
They're gonna get a. They're gonna give that cost to the appraiser.
They're gonna give it to me.
They're gonna give it to you.
And I'm going to essentially subtract that from the appraisal.
Do they share that with the landowner, and does he or she have the right to ask for a different appraisal? It just, I don't know.
So we have, but then, don't we need that to be officially part of the appraisal? Like, how can you subtract it?
Because that's how much. That's part of the and after.
But
Calculation.
doesn't the appraiser have to say that that's true?
So the appraiser that we did originally did not take that into account.
Right.
And I believe that that's why the amount was more. The appraised amount was more than everybody thought it was.
Right, no, but my point is, you said that you're gonna get that information and
Yep.
you're gonna subtract it from the appraiser. I'm
Yep.
saying if there's gonna be any argument, Mr. Pettigrew wants to argue about the value, whatever, it seems to me that the appraisal we end up relying on should officially have that subtracted.
Yes.
So
Yep.
it shouldn't just be you subtracting it, it
yeah.
should be
Yep.
whoever's
The appraiser
revising the
himself
appraisal.
should be-
Yeah.
It should be included as
Yeah,
with the
I-
appraiser's stamp on it or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So. I guess we'll be looking for that then from the appraiser,
Mhm.
is the before amount. With this cost of the road improvements taken out. So that when we present this before the town council. We have. All our i's dotted and t's crossed and so forth, that this
Yep.
is the official appraisal.
And then who circles back to the landowner to let him or her know?
I do.
Okay.
And when you get back in touch with him, do you tell him the amount or do we? So this goes back to, okay, we weren't supposed to have. The property owner on the Zoom call, we were supposed to have gone into the executive session to discuss the amount. How do we know when that happens, when we need to go into an executive session, or can we rely on you to tell us that?
I will have to talk to the town's solicitor to get clarification on
Okay.
that.
And it will go in our SOP.
A long list.
It's gonna be a big document,
Mhm.
okay. So they're going out to look at the road next week. Did I get that right?
Probably the week after.
The week after,
And you're calling the new appraiser person.
this week,
Probably Wednesday. 'cause I'm.
But we don't even know if he's been out there to the property to do what
I
he's supposed to be doing.
haven't heard, from him yet.
How are we gonna push him to get this done?
I'm gonna, call him
Okay.
on, Wednesday.
He's ignoring your calls.
Just email, so.
He's ignoring my emails.
He's ignoring your emails. Okay, well, if he starts ignoring your calls, we're gonna have to go to his office
Another phrase or get another
Yeah, or-
appraiser.
or get
yeah,
another
okay.
appraisal. Cause you haven't paid him yet.
No.
And I think you mentioned to me, Josh, that the appraisal was budgeted at $1,200, or that was his estimate.
Yes,
So Justine, you might want to put that in the treasurer's report as an anticipated cost. The Pettigrew appraisal, $1,200. Okay, anything else about the Pettigrew property? Okay, Mende property. Are the bounds in there?
yes.
Yay!
Can you do like a 30-second? What the heck is the Mende property and where are we?
Sure. Dot. The Mende property is located at 120 Town Farm Road. We did a sale of development rights. So we do not have any public access to the property. He and his wife will continue to live there on the property, but it will never be subdivided. It will be protected as open space in perpetuity. So even after they pass away, anybody who that property is sold to
Mm.
will never be able to put additional structures on it.
It's the one, the
Yeah.
highlighted one, and next to it is Audubon.
Yes.
Audubon is here, yep.
Okay.
And then what, the one next to that one to the right?
That's all.
That is,
Oh.
something that
That's
we actually have,
The Breen property.
the Breen property,
Which we
yes.
also, which the land trust is supposed to be managing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Which is why the Mende property scored highly. and
Yeah.
again,
Yeah,
And then those two above it also, are those,
These, I believe they're privately owned.
are
but
those?
that might be something that we
worth
want to send letters to those
investigation? Yeah.
folks.
By the
At some
same person.
point,
Yeah,
Yeah, is that the bike path?
Like that.
no, that's a electric transmission line,
Yeah.
the one that crosses to the northwest.
Yeah.
what's that big rectangular one up there?
That one?
Yeah,
It's a realty company.
That's not a good sign.
It's locked, though, it's landlocked.
it is.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
I think we've looked at that one. That's the one behind the school, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they wanted $1
$1 million for it.
something
It's
like that, yeah.
completely landlocked. You can't get to it and it's all net. You can't even walk it. We did a walk up there and you can only really look at it from the outside because it's so overgrown and so lush. Yeah, but they wanted $1 million. Yeah.
But on,
So, yeah.
on the
We can-
Mende property, the bounds are in the ground. But when the engineering company went out to put the bounds in the ground, Mr. Mende had them move them out a bit. So we were slated to buy 9.2 acres. Right now, the bounds only show 8.6.
Why is he allowed to?
Yeah, how did he?
How did he just do that?
Well, that's one question
Did
I
we come up
bring
with
to
a
the
price?
land trust.
Do we have a price that we've agreed on?
Yes,
So he can't do that.
And did we pay him yet?
not yet.
Oh, well then,
Well, isn't this where our solicitor should be
all over it.
stepping in and
Know what to
saying,
do.
what?
We don't know what to do.
Well, if we purchased development rights on 9.2 acres, we
We-
could be getting
9.2
9.2
acres.
acres.
And why did he have them moving? Because what part was it
Did
near,
he not
near his
like
house
the-
or his barn that he was wanting to?
Why does
Yeah.
it matter to him?
That's why I was just wondering if he was trying to protect some of this area that around his
So
house.
essentially, yes.
Okay,
What, so you want to put like a shed in or something?
I
Yeah.
I should have printed it out. I have the where the bounds were going to go, and I have where the bounds actually are placed.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know, you guys. So back to the background of this property. This has been going on for what, 3 years now?
yes.
And Mr. Mende was not treated very well by the town because it took us 3 years to get this done. And he waited and he waited and he waited and he waited and he was very, very patient. He could have pulled out at any
What are we
time,
paying him for this?
or what it is even.
Do you
What-
remember
How
how
much we're
much?
paying him?
85.
1,000.
Yeah.
Oh.
$85,000.
$85.
If it minus a half acre.
Well,
I'm upset about it. And I don't think that should have happened. But on the other hand, I'm not sure we wanna
If it's worth the.
what is
fight him
a,
about it when
what is a
he's
lot?
been so patient.
What is the requirement in this zoning area? How big does your lot have to be to build on it?
This
Is it 3 acre?
is R2. So 2 acres.
2 acres, okay.
And do you know how much he had? Do you know what the 9.2 didn't include? Like how
It
much?
didn't include this.
So how much how much is that?
This is, what's that say, 15? So 7.5.
Wait, so he
So we've lost
0.6.
0.6 acres.
So he now has 8.1.
Yeah. And
Right?
we have-
Is that what you said?
He now has,
So it's 15 total?
it's 15 total, yes.
Yeah.
So he's got
15?
about 7 acres.
Uh,
He can't build any more on his property there. I'm just assuming he
How-
probably wanted to
Why
extend
do,
his,
why do you say that?
because he doesn't have enough acreage to do anything more.
Wait, why?
Wouldn't he have to take something down to put something up new?
He has six, wait, if he's, wait, 15 minus 8.6 leaves him with 6.4, which is 3 building
If
lots.
he could subdivide the property,
He could divide what he's got into 3 lots theoretically.
you'd have to build a roadway through here.
Yeah,
There's wetlands,
Right.
that road, the
Yeah,
road
there's
there
wetlands
now
on both
crosses a
sides here.
wetland.
I don't know if this should, yeah. So
Yeah.
you'd have to come up here.
But the 0.6 acres that we're talking about makes the difference between whether this is 2 lots or 3 lots. So I mean, what he has remaining,
He could put 3 more
he
houses
could put,
on.
he could
2.
Two
more,
houses,
or
2 houses.
depending on where the lines, I don't know how nice his house is, but he could knock it down and there could be 3 2-acre lots.
It would,
I just,
it would be very hard to do because he would have to create frontage.
but
Right.
why, I just don't understand why else he would have been
Yeah.
like, hey, move that back a little.
Right.
If he
Because-
wasn't thinking, it's not like we can do stuff on the land, so he's like, I want to
Yeah.
make sure that they're further away from my house. The
Right.
only reason that he would have said, no, I want to keep more of this is if he's planning on,
Right, that's what
or
I'm
if he wants to
wondering.
preserve the option of building there. In my mind, I would imagine it would be very strange to me if after all this, he was saving that land to develop like 2 new lots and 2 new houses there. I'm imagining it being more of like if he wants to build, I don't know,
Another
a garage
barn.
or like a barn or something. But still, I think there is no reason that he would have had those moved if it wasn't to preserve the ability to develop on that land. And if we care about that, which I kind of do, I just feel like if there isn't, it wouldn't be that difficult, I don't think, to create frontage based on where the road is. They have like that little cul-de-sac thing that could theoretically be expanded and probably create the frontage that would be needed.
Where does his driveway go?
It's like right in the middle, you see there's like a circle, a
Goes
little
right up
here.
wavy
Right up through
thing.
there, yeah.
And then between the two,
Yeah, why would it be so hard then?
Cause it crosses wetland, that whole
Yeah, so-
frontage piece is.
But we're just
You
talking
have
about
to
putting
bring
a
a
culvert in.
road up here and then do a cul-de-sac.
but there is one already, so they could just expand it. So I
It would
just,
go right by his own house.
His driveway comes up like this and.
Are there already two houses there?
One's
like a
one's
shed.
garage,
House,
bed.
and then I believe that's a barn,
And
and
then
then
the
that's a shed.
Yep,
His wife does a lot of gardening.
yep.
I think if the whole point is that this will be protected in perpetuity beyond when they are there, even if we are pretty confident based on how long he is held on or had let this go on,
Uh-huh.
that he's not going to turn around and try to develop some big structures on that property. I think it is not unlikely that future owners of this property would try to develop on that land, especially because it's already cleared. So
Right,
Yeah.
it's-
I just,
the-
I totally understand what you're saying, Lynn, about like not wanting to be
Don't
a
wanna
stickler
blow
for the
this whole deal.
details because
Stay
he's
blowing the
been
whole
so
deal.
patient. I'm just wondering if there's any way that we can like approach him very gently and be like, hey, not trying to make this more difficult than it has been, but we're a little
We have an
concerned
agreement, do we
about.
have something in writing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
we
I-
have a.
So that should be enough.
Cause that's why the
DNL,
engineer
yeah,
would have gone
yeah.
out to put the stakes where he
So-
put them.
Yeah, and so he should
Why
have been
didn't-
able to
why
just be
didn't-
like, yeah,
why- I
move
was
those.
just thinking, why didn't they just put the stakes where they were told to, and if he asked for something different, just say, we can't.
Yeah, that's what they
You
should
need
have
to
done.
contact.
We'd have to start over. We'd have to renegotiate the
Right.
agreement because it's,
So who puts in the stakes or the boundary markers?
The engineering company that I hired,
And who were they?
the Decrete Engineering.
but you gave them the specific like 9.2 acre
Yep.
boundary, so their job was to put them where
They were supposed to.
they were supposed to.
Can we see on that where they moved it back?
That's what I was gonna
Uh,
ask you.
not
If you
on
have,
here.
if you
Not
have the
here.
plans, I can mock up something that shows where they would be, where they were.
Well,
supposed to go and
you know,
where they
his-
are.
I remember him saying that the kids didn't want the property or so
Yeah.
forth, which doesn't mean to say that they
Somebody else would.
wouldn't, or that
Right.
they would, they're thinking
Yeah,
twice
so
about
if
the
the whole
property.
deal was, like you said, in perpetuity, now we've lost that.
And it's created through the zoning rules, the potential for an extra lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the engineering company never should have done that.
They just shouldn't have done that. And I think if we have something in writing already, I think that without being pushy or kind of turning him away from doing this, there is a way for us to say, hey, like we were purchasing this land with the understanding that no more development was going to, that's the whole point, is that no more development
We
is going to
don't
be able
have
to
to
happen.
do
on
that,
the
we
land.
just have to say the agreement that we all signed was for 9.2 acres.
Well. in
So
fairness-
we cannot, like, we are,
Oh, no,
we have a fiduciary responsibility to
Responsibility,
to the town to get the land that we
Mm,
paid for.
that we paid for. But in fairness to him, he may not know that he has now opened the door to development.
I just,
No, I don't think
why-
we should bring it up. That's my
Oh.
point. I don't want to bring it up. I just want to bring up the point that we're not trying to be jerks, but you know, we
Yeah,
have
that's
no
fair.
choice but to stick with the agreement that
Mhm.
we
Yeah.
all, you know, we have a fiduciary responsibility to the town.
Yeah.
To have what it
Yeah.
is that we agreed and paid for and has been voted on by the town council to be what it is that we get.
Again, his tax rate will go up by half an acre. Well, he's probably locked in at whatever his taxes were.
All right,
All right, I
So-
will start that process.
I would like to make a motion for this then. I think we need one,
Do we?
I don't think you do.
no? For you to write a letter, or
Non-tax.
No,
I don't know
because
what-
I,
are you just gonna reach out to him?
yeah,
Okay,
Does he have a real estate attorney he used or he did it himself?
that I don't know. That was handled between our old town solicitor and whomever.
Just if it was a lawyer, it would be nice to just have to reach out to them.
When did the engineering mention this to you?
Oh, a week ago?
It's just such a weird thing to happen.
I know, like, oh, by
I
the
mean,
way,
they-
you just moved
they
it,
Basically broke the law.
they broke the contract, yeah,
Because they put their stamp on something that
right,
is not what they were
Contractually,
paid
yeah.
for.
Yeah, they need to, at no additional charge, go back and put it in the right place.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Thanks, Josh.
That's the Mende property.
That's a Mendon property.
30 seconds.
We got this one so close.
Yeah, no, we
I
just,
know,
yeah.
So
so close, right to the finish line, and then they moved the finish line literally.
Oh my God.
All right,
All right, what time is it? Oh, is that clock, right?
Yep.
I did not
We're
do
gonna,
a scoring sheet for Chapman.
no,
So
so.
where are the scoring sheets?
Ooh,
Is
ooh.
there a digital file of them anyway? I only was able to find a filled out one.
There's,
There
I
is a
probably
digital-
have
I
a
have
PDF of it.
I have it too,
Okay.
so. it's-
So can we
Can I
table
have
that
it?
discussion
Cool.
to next
Yes.
time?
Yes. I don't know if you guys wanna make copy of it, or Josh can make copies of it,
Yeah. Or
Chapman property,
email PDF.
I just, the only things I
Thanks,
wanted to talk
Jenna.
about tonight was that the site walk was done
True.
with a quorum.
Mhm.
And I have already decided for us, sorry, that we're gonna wait on the scoring until we get Jenna's wildlife report,
Okay,
cause that will help us a lot.
yep,
The only other thing I wanna mention is that, because he has beehives all over the property, we may be able to add him as a point for agriculture,
ah,
because
Oh.
it's,
Does he have
It's
more than
considered-
just the one on that side of
Yes.
the road?
oh, on that
there
side of the
were-
road, I thought I
There
saw
were 4 or
stands for-
5
yeah,
all
in
over
the- yeah,
There were-
that big parcel we
Yeah.
walked, yeah. There were several.
No,
Yeah.
you sure we didn't see the same one multiple times? Cause we
Pretty
walked
sure.
by and it was on our left and he pointed to it and he says, we're gonna be going by it when we come
Yeah,
back
he did.
around.
I thought I saw,
I thought I saw more than one, but
Before.
now that you say that, it could be an optical illusion, but.
It was just one.
well, we can
I
ask
thought
him how
4.
many
For some
hives.
reason I
has
thought
there.
he said 4, but
He might have been including the ones behind his house.
he has more behind his house than
Yeah.
4 though, right?
Yeah, no, Jenna. and
Yeah,
I
but he
kept-
said he had 4
stayed and
living,
walked
cause
past.
he
He's
had
got
a few
a
that
bunch
died
up
over
there.
the winter. He has 4 living.
Five.
He said, yeah.
Do we
But
think
this,
Josh
whether there's
can-
one or more, I think is still considered agriculture by DEM.
I
do you
think the
Josh can
bigger,
answer any of our questions about what we would maybe want to bake into the agreement? Or should we also wait on that discussion until we have the wildlife? Because I think that is another big piece of this.
Bake into the agreement.
whole-
Like this whole
Right.
future.
Yeah,
you
actually,
talked
Josh,
about
yeah, that's a good
parking and
point.
trails, but
Just
then
to-
said no.
Yeah. So, Josh, you may have had experience with this in a former life. So he's asking for the land trust to have the development rights to keep it as open space in perpetuity until, but until he dies, we won't have access to it.
Mhm.
Like, but after he dies,
Mhm.
he will want us to have access to it.
So it goes
So-
from development rights to acquisition of property.
well, cause he was not completely clear, but it almost sounded like his intention was to leave the properties to the town,
Yep,
in which case we'd have fees. We'd fees to full ownership of the whole,
Right.
the
Mhm.
15 acres on the side with his house
Mhm.
and how many acres?
41.
41 acres
On the other side.
And
Okay.
theoretically, that he would want to do the prep work. for
Well,
it
he's
to be-
already, I
he's
mean, that's the
cleaning
thing
it
is, the nice thing is he's managing that forest in the meantime,
Right,
so we
right,
wouldn't
he's
have
taking
to,
care of
and
it,
he's
he's
putting the
doing-
trails in, so we
Yeah.
wouldn't have to.
But he also talked about like knocking the house down and putting in
Oh,
parking
he's not doing
space.
that for us. He's
He'll be,
saying we could
he'll
do that.
be, he'll
But
die.
that only happened.
The parking thing, he said, there was something he was saying that he was hoping to have done. Like while he was alive.
I thought it was the parking.
Yeah, I think it might have
Yeah.
been from parking.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
maybe on the.
so the
road.
the
Yeah.
question is,
Yeah, you're
if
right.
when we do the scoring,
Mhm.
it is worth more to us knowing that it's going to be public land in the
Someday.
future
Mhm.
and a larger parcel in the future. And so the question was whether we could somehow do a phase one, phase two agreement
Right.
where he's agreeing to the phase two now. And that factors into our valuation of phase one. So he would like to get some money
Mhm.
for the development rights now to
Mhm.
use. But
Yeah,
it
the-
sounded like in the
the land-
future, that was not gonna be a purchase, that was gonna be a,
Right. Well, I asked him if he was going to put it in his will, and he said he doesn't really have a will. So I
well,
don't-
this,
but we'd have
but
to
this
have
could
some kind of-
potentially, yeah.
Right.
But he was also the thing that was confusing was that he is pretty intent on doing it all in like two separate
Right.
processes, like or two separate not transactions, but you know what I mean. One of which being development rights, and then another of which being the eventual
Right,
turning over of the land to us. However, if there is a way for us to, in the terms of the development right acquisition, build in the fact that eventually we will have the ability to put trails on it, have the ability to have it be public access, whatever, because that is a significant component of scoring
Mhm.
that right now it wouldn't have, but in the future it would have. Like,
Yeah.
is there a way for us to bake that into the agreement so that it is both legally binding and still only would be development rights for him to sell?
I think so.
Cool.
You think
whether
you-
he will
so we
agree to it
can-
or not, we don't
right,
know, but I think the
right.
problem
I
is
think
that it's
that's
not
good.
scoring as high as it should,
Right.
as
but
is.
It may,
Right,
it may.
But
um,
it probably would if we were able
Right.
to.
own it. All right.
Yeah.
I think they can add like we would, a codicil, what they call a codicil, like to a will, which
mm,
is an extenuating circumstance based on a moment in time. So you could say the thing would get development rights now with the intent that it's being bought, and so that adds to the value of the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because it would, if it could just say at the time of his death that the ownership will pass to the, like, full ownership will pass to the land trust.
I think you can make an argument that it scores this right now, but in the future, it will score this.
Right,
And so
that's what
we
we're
would
trying
like
to
to
do,
treat it as if it was scored this in the future.
right, if
I
he's
think
willing,
Yeah, I was gonna say we would score it both ways.
and
you
if
know,
he's
just-
willing to combine them, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess we don't even have to include the side with his house on it, that could be a separate. Right, because we're not buying development rights to that right now.
Correct. Yeah.
So we just want to make sure that the side
Right,
across
we're
the
only-
street,
We're only gonna score the
Yeah.
one parcel,
right,
and then. Cause I think his interest is in getting that particular piece done.
Right,
with.
that's his primary,
That's
yeah,
his
his focus, yeah.
priority, cause he really wants to save that.
Yeah.
And then. Once we're successful in doing that. Then we can move on to the other parcel or his houses.
yeah,
So
I
it'll be
mean,
two separate transactions.
again, I think, there's a lot of future discussion to have, but I think that's a good one to find out if we can do that, but it also sounds like he's gonna want us to demonstrate what we are going to do in the way of active management.
Yeah. Which would be hard. I mean.
He didn't just sound like he would want, like, he
it's
fully
pretty
said that he would
insistent.
not be interested in
Right, we're
selling or
not
giving the
going to-
land to the land trust if there wasn't a plan for how to continue managing it under the forest management plan that he has.
Mhm.
Which we
Although he's
could,
doing a lot of the heavy lifting on that.
Yes,
yeah, but I mean, after
We'd
he
have
is
to
dead.
find some way to. I don't know, build into our budget an annual. Amount for. A forester to go out there and. Do the forest management. That would be a commitment that we would have to make.
Right.
Before he would sign. The papers.
Right, but if we get that property for the cost of development rights, but end up owning it later on, that's
Mhm.
like,
it's big.
Okay, So as far as you know, Josh, there wouldn't, right now, there wouldn't be any problem with us treating it as if it's a future purchase for scoring purposes.
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Do you think we need to check with anybody?
I think of it as kind of an internal land trust discussion,
Okay,
you know, and I think as long as you can defend it.
okay.
I was just wondering if the town or the solicitor would recommend that it's represented in his will that way.
But it might not have to be if it's written in this agreement, like the purchase agreement.
Uh, Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is we're not gonna have a purchase. I mean, we'll have a development rights agreement.
Right, so yeah.
Yeah.
We can ask Kate about that.
Yep.
How are you guys gonna remember all these things that you're
Well, I'm writing some of them down.
Development rights with a codicil.
Can I ask one thing about the sidewalk?
Mhm.
Could I get somebody to submit minutes of some kind?
Yep, I'll do that.
They can be incredibly
Mhm,
brief,
They will be brief, but
but I have to have something.
okay, I'll do it.
Can I ask an aside question? It's not on.
Mhm. Well, I don't know if it's not on our agenda. I don't know.
Well, it's kind of important.
Do we need,
Technically,
can we do
you
it?
can you
Under
can
new
make a
business.
motion to add something to the agenda. Everybody votes on it. And game on.
Is it related
Well,
to
it
this,
may,
or is it related?
it's
to new
actually just
business?
asking a question that the answer may be already in our previous minutes, so it's really just a question.
Okay,
So you are currently the chair. I am
Yes.
currently the treasurer.
yes, we do not have a vice chair.
We do not?
We did, it was already.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
did, it was
That
already.
was already.
Do we, is there any chance that he's gonna unresign? If, like, after we've,
This is gonna take years.
let's,
Let's be real.
let's imagine it
Yeah.
doesn't. Is there any like, was he really only resigning because of this, or?
Well, yeah, this
Yes.
is a high priority for him right now.
My
We
interpretation.
did not want to have there be any appearance of any kind of conflict of interest. No.
And Rory, you did not want to be vice chair.
I couldn't commit to the time, just with everything else.
You know, and it's good you brought it up, because I don't think we really need a vice chair.
Well, our bylaws say we do, so we need.
Well,
to-
it also, that's the other thing, I just gotta get to the bylaws
Yeah.
before we leave tonight.
Yeah.
But, we're also supposed to have a secretary.
Yeah.
And
Which seems
Josh
silly.
is kind of our secretary,
Yeah.
but
So
it's,
maybe we.
because it's supposed to be.
Why
a
don't we
member
change the
who's
bylaws to
secretary.
say that the,
I was
Planning-
gonna,
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say that when we have talk about
I
it,
think
bylaw
they-
discussion.
I didn't print out the bylaws today.
Yeah, you did. you did.
It is.
No, this is the
Definition
ordinance.
that may-
Oh,
Bylaws were.
oh, well, it's in the ordinance, so we can't
Yeah.
just change that. That's unfortunate.
Is it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is.
It
is indeed.
Recording secretary and treasurer.
Where do you, what? Page?
Section 16-4. There isn't anything stopping you guys from suggesting changes to the ordinance. It would have to go before the town.
Wait a minute,
council.
but you are considered
But-
one of the trustees, no? If we
I
have
am
9
considered-
and it's,
Yeah,
because
I believe so.
16(3)(a) says 9 trustees, 7 of whom should be appointed.
Ex officio non-voting members shall be,
The town
And-
planner or their designee.
yeah,
That's you.
that's me. Trustee.
And director of the project, yeah.
Ex officio.
So I think we're okay.
But does that conflict with the,
Non-voting members. I don't know.
we've never had a secretary.
But
Right.
if he's a
Yeah.
member. He's a non-voting
Ex
member.
officio just means I don't have a vote, I believe.
Trustees after appointment.
I don't know.
7 who
Oh,
are, yeah, it seems like. You are one of the 2, right? That's a non-voting member, but that you're still considered a trustee. It says shall be administered by 9 trustees. So that would suggest that
Okay.
that would allow you to be the recording secretary.
I'll buy that argument.
But there's a conflict about 7, like an A, 16.3A, about 7 who shall be appointed by town council, but then when you get down to 16.4, it says among 5 members appointed by the council, so should that be 7?
Where does it say that?
16.4, the last line of A,
Oh, from the
From
5
among the
members.
five
Yeah.
Members, yeah,
yeah, so
Oh,
that
but
is
that should be,
7,
you're right.
oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
yeah.
So I mean,
So maybe
so
when we
there
go,
are things in here that we should change.
yes, I agree.
That can be,
Okay. Let's get through the rest of our. regular agenda. Seems like we can take 2 steps forward and
Mhm.
5 steps back.
Correct.
Maybe if we can get some more members, we can
Yeah,
start
I mean,
prepping them.
if we
towards that.
can't, if nobody's willing to be a vice chair, then nobody's willing to be a vice chair. Nobody's willing to be a secretary. Nobody's
And
willing to be a
we
secretary.
aren't 7.
And we are not 7 people. It's just because it says shall doesn't mean we can. It's not fair.
yeah.
I mean,
You can vote Reed to be vice chair.
He's not here, he
He's
can't
not here.
oppose it, yeah.
yeah. But then we need a secretary too.
I think we should ask to change the ordinance to
Sure,
make it so
yeah.
that our recording secretary can be
Yeah.
the ex officio.
Yeah.
member.
Yeah.
That's just silly.
I'm sure there's other groups, maybe not in Coventry, but other towns that have boards that don't have enough people to fill their positions.
Because what we used to do is Brian Wagner, who's the planner at the time, would bring a little micro cassette tape and record the meeting, and then he'd hand it to the secretary in planning, and she would transpose the notes.
Mhm.
And that's how it was done.
Also, why do we need an additional secretary if we have someone doing minutes?
Well, that's the
It's
thing.
also recorded,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, so you've
That
got,
somebody does minutes based on the recording.
right,
So maybe when we go in front of the town council for the budget, we should also ask if they can vote to amend the ordinance, and we should take a good look at it and see.
Yeah, I believe that has to be,
Public hearing.
yeah,
Can we tack it onto the same public hearing?
I don't believe so because I believe the
that would be more
council
efficient.
Yeah.
has to have a public hearing
Oh,
because it's actually changing the ordinance.
do you want to confirm that process?
Yes.
And we'll decide what we want to change. But they're lucky to have us.
Um,
If need be, I would serve as the vice chair until we get some more people on board,
so it
so.
was. I
There's no
do
end
know
to
that there is one meeting in June that meeting I am not going to be here for.
And
so
we have
either-
to have a vice chair
Alright,
for
then
that because that
Right.
person has to run.
All right,
Or
fine, I'll
we-
do it,
Or we just, we don't have that meeting,
yeah,
or
Yeah.
we'll change the date. of that
It's,
meeting.
there's a very real possibility that you're gonna be in Africa.
the summer.
I may be somewhere, like, we may not have a quorum anyway.
So, okay.
We can adjust the schedule.
Yeah, if we,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yep.
So hopefully by the May meeting, we will know dates.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
let's try and.
but it would be great if Lynn were ever sick or something, if we had a vice chair who could.
All right.
Can I make a motion?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, I make a motion to vote Rory Carmody in as vice chair of the Coventry Land Trust.
I second. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It'll look good on your
Alright.
resume.
And is there any further discussion about the nomination of Rory Carmody as vice chair of the land trust? No more discussion. I'll put it to the vote then. All in favor? Any opposed?
I think I have to abstain, don't I?
I think so.
Yeah,
Trump vote for himself.
that's right, 3 times.
Well, then we don't have a quorum.
Yeah.
Oh, then I.
Yeah. That's true, you can't.
Just nail this coffin shut. Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved.
Thank you.
Rory is the
Thanks,
vice
Rory.
chair. Promise I won't
I
make you
can,
do it.
feel the
Feel the
enthusiasm from here.
enthusiasm, yeah.
Thank you, Rory. Where are we? Ongoing property, so
Oh.
we'll go through this really, really fast. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. 6-1 boundary marker signs and kiosks. We're gonna do what we can for Earth Day and then we'll gather together to talk about other properties.
The kiosk
I
at
don't know that
Stella
you-
Hall is still standing, still looks in good shape. We can see the signs
Good.
up and the
Nice.
wires across still, so that hasn't been moved.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, haven't
Okay.
seen any
Great.
I always, if I see a pickup truck stopped, anticipate there's an
Right.
ATV in the back or
Okay.
something,
Yeah.
but
Mm.
so far nothing.
Oh, I did want to mention that Scott and I went up to Stella Hall and we walked all the way back to the trash pile and he's gonna get the trash out of it.
Oh, nice.
Yay.
Oh,
Okay,
good.
cool.
Are we not doing anything on Earth Day about filling in the holes? Are we like assuming, no? Okay.
That's too big.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to hire somebody to.
I
An
mean,
ATV.
maybe if Reed, like if they chop up a bunch of tree chunks, they can just chuck them
We
in the
can
hole.
Throw them in there.
Might as
yeah.
well.
That's not too far to drag them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can bring a wheelbarrow. Do we have a wheelbarrow? I can-
GIS. Sorry,
No,
did you have something?
nope, that was it. I'm just gonna bring a wheelbarrow.
Okay. GIS mapping, I didn't do anything. I made maps for the site walk, but then weren't even able to use them because it was raining. Wildlife cameras, Art sent some more videos from the ones at Stella Hall today. I
Oh,
haven't looked at them yet, and he gave me the coordinates for where they are, so we are now responsible for managing those.
Well, he
since
and
he's
Jenna were
donated
talking
them.
about how nothing was showing up on them anyway, so they were
They
talking
were
about
getting a lot
taking
of
it down.
activity, yeah.
Right, so, we'll see what he I mean, he said there was new stuff.
Oh, okay.
From
Oh, good.
just today, he said.
Oh,
there's
oh,
new
good.
stuff.
Oh, good.
Well, spring is
So,
sprung, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. New business.
Are we putting bylaws off the next time? Is that
Yeah.
what we're doing?
I was gonna do bylaws and we'll do amend the ordinance, so.
I feel like the save the bait thing, I just need to bring up because they seem kind of anxious to, if that's okay.
Very saucy. So this is new business, Save the Bay.
Yeah, so a gentleman by the name of Ian O'Hara.
Oh.
You know who that is?
He's, if I'm remembering correctly, he is like one of the newer, younger people on the restoration. team.
Restoration
Yeah,
ecologist.
restoration.
Okay, so can you pull up parcel number? It's 0 Nicholas Road. I swear we've talked about this
Oh,
property.
yeah. That sounds very familiar.
And it's 0308-012.
Why is Save the Bay interested in
Hang on, I'll tell you.
landlocked?
That's it. That is the property.
It's Casella's.
Yeah. So this introductory email was he worked at Save the Bay. Part of the restoration and conservation efforts, we have partnered with the Natural Resource Conservation Service to identify parcels through the state that qualify for their wetland reserve easement program. So that's actually the NRCS. The program can permanently protect wetlands and associated uplands while allowing the owner to retain full ownership of the parcel. Has specific eligibility criteria, riparian corridor that connects two already conserved parcels. And because of this, we have identified one specific parcel in Coventry that is eligible for this program. So he said, could you take a look and let me know if you or anyone from the Coventry Land Trust is familiar with this parcel and property owner? We're trying to make a more local connection approach as opposed to just a letter from Save the Bay. And it said the one good thing about this wetland restoration easement program is that it can fund 100% of the restoration work that takes place on the property if the owner wishes.
Where's the wetlands on that property?
There's
That-
a river
Northern
that
line
runs
is the
through here.
river.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting to note that this property is
Yeah.
owned by DEM.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's
that
his
that would
point.
be
Oh,
the
they know
two
it, okay.
connected.
Yeah.
Fund 100% of
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
The
restoration.
restoration work, yeah. So,
Did he say what restoration work was needed on there?
no. But what he did do, and I can send this around, but he's got this map. So the eligible portion is the wetlands, which is the pink, and then an equal amount of uplands, which is the blue. So they're not talking about this whole thing. They're just talking, and truthfully, because it's close to the wetlands, he probably can't develop that anyway. So,
Well, Cozella owns the store down at the intersection of 102 and 117, landscaping. The
Mhm.
dirt store, they've got all sorts of raw materials like that, mulches, things like that, so that's probably where they're getting some of their stuff from.
you think it looks like field.
In the middle there?
Looks like,
Oh.
like
The
this might be some kind of clearing.
Cause they do a lot of rocks, what do you call it, rotten rock and pebbles for driveways, things like that.
sand and gravel. kind of
Sanding,
thing.
yeah.
So as part of the application process, the NRCS would fund all activities related to the appraisal and acquisition of the land. So no, zero risk to landowner, no financial commitment. So like the only thing we would be doing is sort of acting as a local intermediary to, express
Mhm.
the value of this. So he said the eligible wetlands on this parcel are an estimated 11.5 acres. And
How big is
and
this
the
parcel?
program allows the landowner to also include an equal amount of upland. So it'll be 23 acres total.
33.
How's
No,
that possible?
That's
Excuse
not,
me.
Okay,
78.
yeah, okay, I was gonna
that
say.
makes more sense. So they're really only gonna be offering to take 23 acres. So he's not using that anyway, so it would seem like,
I feel like
We
there's
would hope
zero
we would.
reason not to do this.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think it's.
and he, on
Yeah,
his
but-
original
yeah.
email, he had,
I'm from the government here to help you, that's, this doesn't always
Fair.
provide people with solace, it would be helpful if someone knew him.
well,
to be
what's
able to-
interesting is he had included Maria, and I don't really understand how, oh, Maria gave him my contact number, I don't know, it's weird. And she had at one point said, I'll have to find her email. She had offered to approach them on their behalf, which seemed odd, but
So none of us know the Cozellas.
I only buy mulch from him occasionally. I mean, I wouldn't know him, and I don't know if that's the guy who's currently running the dirt farm or not. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if the town buys anything
Also,
from him.
if they purchased this, the Save the Bay owns it, they become the owner.
sounds like
these people?
NRCS
Or
does. I don't
NRCS.
really understand why Save the Bay is involved at all, but
I mean, either one's okay.
our
but-
rest,
yeah.
they've partnered with NRCS, but NRCS is where the money comes from, it sounds like.
Are there other businesses that they've done this with as a reference for Casella to see if they've done this with other land trusts in the state or property owners in the state rather?
I don't know. Maria said, I don't know Mr. Casella personally. She mentioned the lumber store, but she said if they want to come to town to talk to them, she'd be happy to go with them. Again, I'm not sure. I feel like we might be a
More neutral.
more
Mhm.
neutral.
Yeah.
Less governmental.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think we should.
So I can tell him that
Correct.
none of us know Mr.
Correct,
Casella,
yeah, we don't
but
know
we would
him.
be happy to invite him to a meeting with them
Mhm.
or,
Mhm.
something.
Mhm.
It's an interesting property. I mean.
I have to buy mulch again, so maybe I'll go back to, get some mulch.
While you're there.
Yeah, by the way, no, they deliver, which is really nice.
I mean, we could mention at the time that if they're ever interested in,
Yeah,
the
I was
rest of
just
this
gonna bring
property.
up this, what he scored on our initial targeting.
did we do this one? Is that my
Well,
imagination?
Nicholas Road sounds familiar.
They're all,
There is a,
think it was this
Nicholas
property,
Road
but I thought it
that
was
is
a-
owned by, Mr. Pettiger.
yes,
I think
Oh, maybe that's
that's
why it sounds
what
familiar.
came
Is
up.
that the one with it, that, on the
There
Buck
definitely
River?
was one,
There was something with
but
a,
it was not this property.
see.
Wait, how
Nicholas
close
Road.
is this to the Nicholas Farm?
It's by
Road?
Lewis Farm, no, he's on Lewis Farm Road,
Nicholas, Dana's property is here.
Yeah, but where's the Nicholas Farm? I think that's, is it Nature Conservancy or DEM that owns Nicholas Farm? The whole,
They own these, the state owns these two properties.
yeah.
It's not coming up on my, what's the, address again? Nicholas Farm Road or Nicholas Road, just Nicholas Road?
Zero.
Zero Nicholas Road, but the parcel is,
Partial is
0308-012.
that one.
Do it. Too many things on here.
Yeah, Pettigrew's 798 Nicholas Road. I knew that name.
Yeah,
sounded
you're not-
familiar,
yeah.
yeah.
So what was the property that we looked at? It looked very much like that and it had like a gravel area in one
Yep,
spot.
that was the one over off, was it Luber Road?
Yeah, I got them confused. I
Yeah,
could have
but it
sworn.
was more, you actually had the ducks and everything in the pen. Yeah, I can't think of the name of it now.
Carbuncle Pond is a buffet. No.
Okay.
It was off Luber Road, Pale, I can't think of the name of it now. But it looks like that very much so. Yeah,
Looks like it scored, between 11 and 15.
We did do that one or? you
Well,
left it?
I've scored every parcel
Oh,
for the whole town,
well, of course you did.
but those, I
Yeah,
only
yeah.
brought up the top 10 or something.
Yeah,
Um,
the 15 is pretty good.
yeah, oh, it's in the middle, so I divided them up into 1 to 10.
I think the issue will
15,
be
16,
if
20.
NRCS buys the development rights to the wetlands. Then if we were ever gonna talk about the remainder of the property, it would score quite a bit lower. Right?
I don't think so, because I don't think we have a score in there for, to eliminate something if it already has protections on it,
Oh.
right? It'd be adding to it would add to the value to have that part of it already protected. In my mind.
And it's contiguous to other protected land. Okay, I'll see what he wants to do.
Okay.
The only thing I have is, I'm gonna be sending around, the Conservation Commission is having a presentation by a gentleman who is an expert in invasives. And I thought you guys may or may not be interested, so I was gonna send that around to you guys.
Were you going to give us a contact info for somebody on the Conservation Commission to start the dialogue about a liaison?
Sure. I can do this, I mean, I'm obviously the staff.
them too.
Person on that, but I can give you the email or phone of the chair. For example,
Is it
or,
Tom?
Jerry Narkowitz.
Jerry Narkowitz, the chair.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they even have a quorum? I mean, do they have a full membership?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're only, 5.
It would be great to have them come to the
Yeah.
meeting and talk about what they do, so we can see where we intersect.
I can certainly bring it up to him.
Great.
Okay. Any other issues of interest? Um. Yes. I'm gonna do my own research for the time being on what's the difference between a bylaw and an ordinance, so. I'm gonna have to figure
Well,
that out.
bylaws we create for ourselves.
So they look exactly the same.
They, yeah.
Yep.
Well, because we have to follow a lot of the, yeah, exactly.
Okay. No more issues of interest?
Nope,
Okay, motion to adjourn,
so moved.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Bye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved.